Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, Widnes Vikings and Nathan Brown make their coaching future decisions. The Betfred Women's Super Leagues North and South both had fixtures, and I bring you the results and scorers. Plus, plenty of the highlights from Featherstone Rovers hosting Bradford Bulls at the Millennium Stadium, which is live on Premier Sports. We begin today with some big news coming out of New Zealand Warriors, as the club has not been far away from disputes, unhappiness, and also uprooting of the entire club since 2019. Since the pandemic arose, they have been moved around the country, and their latest home, Moreton Daily Stadium, Redcliffe, has been their home for the beginning of the 2022 season. Plus the additional trauma of players like Ewan Aitken leaving at the end of the season, or Matt Lodge looking for his immediate release from the club. The club has been more potential than rather products on the pitch. Plus, with the will he, won't he stay saga with Reece Walsh, their star turn over the last 2 years about his Brisbane stay, it has been all unsettling for the New Zealand Warriors. But that has been little drama compared to what we're understanding now. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Nathan Brown's time as the Warriors head coach appears to be approaching its final phase after the coach informed the club that he could not commit to a long-term relocation to Auckland. A meeting has been scheduled for Tuesday morning, which is likely to decide the immediate future of the head coach. The Herald understood that Brown could have potentially coached his last game, with former club legend Stacey Jones earmarked as a potential caretaker coach for the rest of the season if the Warriors decide to terminate Brown's contract at this Tuesday meeting. Sources with knowledge of the discussions told the Herald that Brown has informed the Warriors power brokers that, for personal reasons, he will be keeping him from basing himself permanently in Auckland to fulfill his duties. The club now face a decision to try and secure a coach who can commit to a long-term future of the club, or stick with Brown, knowing the role has a use-by date. The Warriors are due back in New Zealand in a fortnight's time to play their first game at home in more than 2 years due to the COVID restrictions, and the Mount Smart Stadium is looking well, getting ready for the game. Brown is now available to return to New Zealand and has committed to coaching the club for the duration of his contract. That is due to expire at the end of the 2023 season. However, the club is aware that he won't be able to coach in New Zealand beyond that time. Brown is understood to have been open with the club, telling them of his predicament over the past fortnight. The former Newcastle and St George Illawarra coach has a very close relationship with Warriors owner Mark Robinson and Chief Executive Cameron George, and any decision to part ways is expected to be amicable. Brown has been under pressure in recent weeks, given the team's recent form slumping to 5 straight losses with their heavy defeat to Manly on Saturday night. The Warriors now find themselves in 14th position with 4 wins from their 13 games. Brown, who took over as coach last season, has been away from his family for almost 2 years. It is the same sacrifice a lot of the Warriors players have made in recent years. The Warriors trained out to Central Coast last year before relocated to Redcliffe in Queensland in 2022. The likelihood of Brown and the Warriors parting ways at some point in the near future will add further intrigue to the coaching merry-go-round that is currently going on in the NRL. Now we go on to the Bradford Women's Super League results from over the weekend, as it's a quick roundup of what went on, who the scorers are, and who faced who. First of all, we travel to the Millennium Stadium on Sunday, where Warrington Wolves decimated who many thought would be their title rivals in a 48 points to 0 victory. Try scorers for Warrington were, first of all, Charlie McGraw went over for 2 tries, as well as Emily Downs going over for 1. Davis scored a hat-trick. When Bagley went over in the 47th minute, it was all one way at this. Well, it's all been one way and will continue to be so for the rest of the game. Sutherland went over for a obligatory try after 4 last week. When Mulaney went over in the final minutes, as well as Davis kicking 6 of her 9 conversion attempts, making her point scoring for the day 24 of the 48 on show. In the game that can be seen on the YouTube channel The Sportsman Rugby League, York City Knights beat Leeds Rhinos 24 points to 10. It was a close first half as the scores were 4-all. It turned out to be a bad turn for York Knights on half time, as Rhiannon Marsh was red carded right on the half-time hooter, while Leeds were down to 12 men due to a sin binning. That left York a player light for the full 40 minutes of the second half. The yellow card was given to Leeds' Jasmine Earnshaw-Cudjoe, who sat down the first 10 minutes of the second half also. The game's first points came at the hands of Leeds after Zoe Hornby took a short pass from Georgia Roach to crash over. Unfortunately, Sam Hume couldn't convert. Then Tara Jane Stanley took advantage and burst through a gap on the right wing to touchdown. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to convert her try for that 4-4 half-time scoreline. In the second half, Alicia Clayton powered her way through to score next to the post, and Stanley added the conversion to make it a 2-score lead, as well as adding another kick with a successful penalty. Hornby collected her second try, which was converted by Hume this time to give Leeds their 10 points, but further tries from Tamsin Renouf and Olivia Wood, which were both converted by Stanley, secured the 24 points to 10 win for the York City Knights. For the Group 1 other game, it was Wigan 30, Huddersfield Giants 18. Wigan came off with the best start after Rebecca Greenfield scored a try just with a few minutes on the clock, but had to wait until midway through the first half to increase their lead when Emma Dwyer dived over from close range, giving Georgia Wilson a relatively straightforward conversion. It was all Wigan until the break, as Greenfield crossed for a second, and Wilson raced away downfield to make the scores 20 points to 0 at half time. The Giants came back firing and scored a quick-fire double through Frankie Townsend and Ellie Thompson to temporarily reduce the arrears, before Beth Hayes added a 5th of Wigan's afternoon, which was converted by Jodie Morris. Huddersfield responded immediately when Bethan Oates crossed from close range, but when Wigan's Anna Davis collected Hayes' offload to dive over in the corner with less than 20 minutes to go to wrap up the game for Wigan. There was a late consolation from Amelia Brown for the Giants in the closing minutes, with Rebecca Grady's conversion rounding off the scoring. Going back to Group 2, Barrow Raiders paid the ultimate tribute to assistant coach Alex Broadway, who tragically passed away on Friday by beating Lee Miners Rangers 40 points to 6. Katie Birchall opened the scoring for Barrow in an highly emotionally charged match at the Matt Johnson Prestige Stadium, before Kelly Morris scored to bring Lee back into the game, which was converted by Kirsty Millington. In the close first half, Jodie Litherland added another try and a successful conversion before the break to make it 10 points to 6 to the hosts. But Barrow opened up in the second half and ran 6 more tries to secure the first victory of the season. Vanessa Temple crossed twice after the break, while Liverland and Birchall also completed their doubles. Sam Norman and Claire Hutchinson also crossed, while Liverland added 2 more goals. The final kick of the afternoon, however, was taken by Beth Lindsay. Lindsay is Broadway's stepdaughter, who chose to play in his honour. We also have Wakefield Trinity being beaten off Bradford Bulls 28 points to 10. Trinity had Preston and Lou, as well as a goal from Taylor to thank for their points. But the Bulls had Williams, Heaps, Bell, Kilburn and 2 from Donald, as well as 2 kicks from Cookland to thank for their points. Bradford had actually been leading at half-time, 14 points to 0. So that was the north section done. What are we going to see from the southern section, as there were 2 games played in the Betfred Women's Super League South? Well, let me tell you. First of all, we have the London Broncos being victorious at Bristol against the Old Gold's Golden Ferns. The Golden Ferns had to thank for their tries. Bobby Jackson with a double, which makes her 5 tries in 2 games. Ellen Witt with 2 tries. Kaylee Hopkins with a try as well. Vicky Mansell kicked 2 goals. We don't have all the try scorers, all the point scorers for London Broncos, but players like McCusker, Treaco, Selby, Hughes with 4, and Ingram, as well as Hamp, all got on the try scoring charts, while Treaco kicked over most of the goals. In the other game that was played in the Women's Super League South, the Army beat the Oxford Cavaliers at the Cavaliers 44 points to 6. A disjointed game after due to several injuries. The Army were triumphant in the end. Oxford's try came from a Joe Elmsley sin binning for the Army, and they overloaded the right hand edge to score in the right corner. The conversion was good also, but the Army were just too strong, as Williams odds herself on the scoreboard first and last tries of the game, while a Carr, Cornish, Greening and a hat-trick from Donnelly, as well as 1 from Carlisle, sealed the try-scoring win for the Army. Murphy kicked 4 goals from all of her attempts. And with that all being said, here are the league tables. York City Knights are unbeaten as they have played 3 and won 3. Next are Leeds Rhinos and St Helens, who both have a win apiece. Wigan Warriors come next as they have a win and a loss to their names also. And Huddersfield Giants unfortunately are at the bottom of the table at this point, with no wins from their 3 games. And the Norse Group 2 sees Warrington Wolves lead the way with an 100% record from their 3 games, closely followed by Featherstone and Bradford Bulls with 2 wins apiece. Barrow Raiders got their first win of the season from their 2 games at home against Lean Miners Rangers, who come next in the league. Castleford Tigers have got 1 game to their name so far, but Wakefield Trinity are languishing at the bottom at the moment with no wins from their 3 games. Now looking at the South League table, we have London Broncos top of the table with 3 wins from their 3 games. Cardiff Demons and Bedford Tigers come next with only 1 game played so far, and we'll come to that reason in a few moments. The Army come next with 1 win from their 3 games. And the Golden Ferns and Oxford Cavaliers are both yet to get a point on the table, but they're looking better and better with each game that they play, so the progression is there, and hopefully it will continue. Cardiff Demons and the Bedford Tigers have both supposed to have been in fixtures against the Cornish Rebels team, who were slated to be the 7th team in the Betfred Women's Super League South. As we mentioned in a previous episode, there was rumours that they were pulling out of the league completely, but nothing official has come through yet via their social media parties. One would think that they would make that aware, not just to keep it in-house or in the league. Even the league haven't come out with anything official. And at this point, we're all still assuming that there is only 6 teams in the Betfred Women's Super League South. We are currently midway through the Betfred Championship season, and we have seen 4 clubs relieving their head coaches of their duties going into the second half of the season. Dewsbury Rams let Lee Greenwood go just recently, while Jermaine Coleman left London Broncos, John Kear left Bradford Bulls, and Widnes Vikings let their coach go before that. Simon Finnegan left his post on 26th of April this year after a defeat against Barrow was seen as, I think it was Barrow, was the last straw on the camel's back. It was their 6th match in a row, but it wasn't Barrow, it was Batley. That was the reason for the let go. Widnes though have made their decision on their new coach, as on the 6th of June 2022 they have appointed John Kear as their new head coach at the home of Widnes Vikings, the DCBL Stadium. Kear will take the post on from July the 1st 2022, and his contract is currently running until the end of 2023. Having won the Challenge Cup twice during his coaching career with Sheffield Eagles in 1998 and then with Hull FC in 2005, he has taken over Widnes after his stint at Bradford and seemed as an experienced hand to settle the ship for the former England and Wales coach at international level. On the Widnes website, it says that he has a proven record of getting the best out of players, and being able to start the role from the start of July will give him a chance to get to know the squad immediately, as well as planning for next season. Kear started his coaching credentials at Bramley before taking a role within the Rugby Football League's player performance department. He then went on to coach Paris Saint-Germain between 1995 and 1996, before moving to Sheffield in 1997. He guided Sheffield to the Challenge Cup win against the well-fancied Wigan Warriors side, who had just lost twice before winning the Super League title that same year. He took charge of Huddersfield Sheffield in year 2000 before a stint as assistant coach at Wigan. He took the reins out to Hull FC in 2005 with another shot Challenge Cup win, defeating Leeds Rhinos this time. The following year he was at Wakefield Trinity and was the inspiration behind 4 wins in the final 6 matches for the remarkable Great Escape for Trinity that year. He then went on to move to Batley Bulldogs in 2011 and saw successful campaigns, regularly finishing in the Championship playoff positions and reaching the Super 8 qualifiers in 2016. He then moved to his last club, Bradford, in 2018 and secured promotion from League One with the Bulls in his first year, before securing a memorable victory over Leeds in the Challenge Cup the following season. Having taken charge of the Bulls side that are in a similar plight to Widnes in recent years, John can provide know-how to steer the club in the right direction. On being appointed the head coach of Widnes, John Kear said, "I'm absolutely delighted. When I left Bradford, I didn't envisage returning to the game as quickly as I have. But when this opportunity presented itself, and it is a great opportunity within a great club, it was just too good not to take up. I'm really looking forward to the challenge, hopefully finishing the season well and building for 2023. And finally today we go on to the highlights of the Bradford Bulls' visit to the Millennium Stadium to face Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone are looking to go back top of the table after Lee overtook them due to their game in hand, and Bradford Bulls are looking to build on their 31 points to 6 victory last time out. Now, who have both teams got in their squads today? So the away side first, and it looks like Kear has dropped out of the side completely as Elliot Hall starts at fullback. Brian Miller continues in place, so does Dawson Jones, with Kieran Gill and Joe Burton all at the wings. Now, we also see a little changes in the forwards. England drops out of the second row position for Sami Khedira, but otherwise, the only major change is Michael Hoyle coming onto the bench in place of England dropping out of the 17. Hoyle is an ex-Army Rugby League player who makes his first 17 lineup for Bradford Bulls tonight. Thomas Doyle, though, has been taking a few eyes off their Super League rivals, and maybe something in the future may be coming his way from a Super League club. Now onto the Featherstone side, and as we see that Jonathan Ford drops out of the lineup completely after being at standoff in the last game. Riley Jacks is now partnered by Morgan Smith in the three-quarter line. Mark Corella comes in for Pickersgill, while we see Ben Helliwell coming for Craig Hall. The resources of Featherstone Rovers are on show today as we see Craig Kopchak and Luke Cooper. Cooper starts again, second game on the run, as we see Jesse Senni Lefeu drop out of the 17 completely. We have in the second row Jack Bussey and John Davis, as with Hall dropping out, Helliwell goes to centre, and Bussey comes in place of Helliwell in the forward pack. On the bench, we see Connor Jones, Sam Essay continues on the bench, Tyler Heppy and Adam Cuthbertson complete the lineup for Featherstone. It was Featherstone who got the first points on the board after a kick by Morgan Smith was not taken in by Sami Khedira. It was Jake Bussey who got the ball after a lucky ricochet to dive over the line for the first try of the game. As we see here, he just got hold of it. The deflection wasn't enough to take it out of Bussey's hands. Featherstone were in again not long after a kick through from John Davis found Joey Leilua, who goes over the line. It was a good sweeping play, just the basics, got to the last, kick forward from someone who is not normally known for his kicking, and Joey Leilua gets in for the second Featherstone Rovers try. Mark Corella also converts this one, and it is 12 points to 0 to Featherstone Rovers. They come again after a simple Riley Jacks go over the line after Featherstone were attacking near the try line. Corella adds a third kick for 18 points to 0. It's just so simple, overloading the left hand side, and Riley Jacks went in more or less untouched. 18 became 24 after Jake Bussey went over again. It was just a simple play near the line of Riley Jacks found Bussey in a gap, who went over for his second try of the game. He won't be coming back though, as he injured his leg in that attempted tackle from Khedira, who's been pushed pillar to post in trying to defend his side. And it started looking like a massacre after Jacks and Moores found the ball out to Helliwell, who went in for the fifth try of the half for Featherstone in a 14-minute spell, and Helliwell did well to get on the end after some good play from the Featherstone attacking plays. Bradford though finally got ball near the Featherstone line, and it is Mick Flanagan who came on George Flanagan, who came on from the bench and powered his way over at in halfback. Great dummy, and the Featherstone defenders missed the slow and go. Mark Carella's defence wasn't enough to stop the hooker from going over. After Lily converted, it was 30 points to 6 at half time for Featherstone Rovers. We move into the second half and Featherstone get a controversial penalty in the 30-metre line. They run it through the hands straight off the tap, and it's their number 9 Jones who goes over on the left edge as he's playing in the second row. We see it again here, just simple through the hands play, and some weak Bradford defence let Jones go in for the first points of the half. Mark Carella converts this one, and it's Featherstone 36 points to 6. Featherstone are back in again, and a left edge play sees that their outside winger, well, Riley Jacks actually at halfback, powers through the attempted tackle of the Widnes fullback to score once more. It is also converted by Carella, and the score is out to 42 points to 12. I'm sorry, I mean 42 points to 6. We'll come to their 6-pointer for the Bradford Bulls in a little moment. After a great setup run and from Skirt and then Sami Kibola, it is the acting halfback Doyle who goes over for Bradford's second try, which Dec Patton adds the extras to. Unfortunately for Bradford, Featherstone are relentless, and it's Davis who is next on the try-scoring charts as he backs his way over the line and spins to get past the defenders to score his try in this game. Just have to say that the Army's Michael Hoyle gets on the pitch to make some minutes for Bradford Bulls this evening. It's up to 50 now after a Davis kick is being tracked back by Gill, but Joey Leilua is there. It's not Gill, it is Miller at this point, who fumbles the ball backwards. No, it's not, it's Hall. I will get it right eventually, when Leilua just dives on it. Beneficiary of that mistake. But the second rower's kick is pinpoint and fantastic, looking to find that winger out of place. Carella misses this kick, and it's nothing to worry about if you're a Featherstone player, as Featherstone come once more. It's unfortunate for Bradford, as they didn't deserve to go down by such a large margin, but Featherstone came in again. This time it was the Featherstone halfback Morgan Smith who saw the gap behind the acting halfback and the markers, no one covering, so for him to dive over underneath the sticks. That sealed the game, and it was 58 points to 12 to Featherstone Rovers, who go back to the top of the table. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's episode in the comments below, because all the feedback in the world helps me grow the channel and helps us grow the sport of rugby league. A lot of interesting stories there. Nathan Brown not going with New Zealand Warriors to New Zealand. Contracted, he'll be there for about a year and then he'll go. That'll be it. That's the Nathan Brown reign, how he wants it. But that all depends on the meeting that goes ahead later. Anyway, John Kear going to Widnes Vikings. Interesting story, that one. Is that a forward step for the Vikings, or is it a step backwards? You tell me, Vikings fans, are you happy with this appointment? The Women's Super League, some great games. I did watch most of the Oxford Cavaliers versus Army game on Twitch. Now the Army's Twitch channel, very good source for rugby league needs and also to help grow the women's game. Yes, there was a couple of injuries there, and Oxford are getting better. They scored the first points. That's always a plus. Got off the board on that front. There are a couple of players in there that I've got room for improvement, but there are a couple that will tackle all day and will not stop tackling you. The fullback, for one, of Oxford. I'm sorry if I don't know any of the names, but I was impressed. And good luck to them for the rest of the season. Hopefully we'll be able to see more, especially on our league after they shown the Bradford Tigers versus the All Golds match a couple of weeks ago. But in this episode, I just need to tell you that I did a poll after the Challenge Cup weekend for where the stadium should be played, and these are the results. Out of 113 votes, me saying, would you rather have the Challenge Cup final played in stadium and is a fixed place, i.e. Wembley, a fixed place that is over 50k, or moved around the Great Britain with 50k capacity. And 45.1% of you voted for moving around Great Britain. An interesting choice, to be honest, as everyone associated with the Challenge Cup in the organising front says that the Wembley is the spiritual home. But thank you very much for getting involved. There are more stadiums that are coming, like the Bramley-Moore Docks in Everton that are over 50,000 capacity, and which looks like a good facility as well. And I do hope that the RFL will make a decision either way, and we'll have to live with that decision either way as well. I'm still impressed with Tottenham. That was a great facility. Anyway, I digress. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, please stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.